Welcome to the channel and welcome to the flight deck of our Airbus A320. I'm super excited for flight today as we will be flying as a crew. I have a first officer with me, First Officer JDUB. How are you today, JDUB?
I'm good. How are you, Captain Tango?
I am great, thank you. I know you and I have done a few of these flights, but this will be the first one for the record on YouTube.
Yes, I'm excited to be here. Thanks for having me aboard.
Of course, anytime. So basically, JDUB and I have a little bit of a routine. I don't know if we can call it a SOP, but we'll do our best to follow our usual flow. And hopefully you guys will enjoy the perspective from two-man crew this time. So we're here in Vancouver, Canada, and we'll be flying down to Portland. Relatively short flight, but still an international flight. So our plane is cold and dark, and First Officer JDUB is going to start by setting up the overhead, making sure we have some form of power, which we get from the gate nicely here. And then I'll start looking at the box. Alright, so the plane is booting up. Let me turn on the radios on both sides. We won't be on VATSIM today, so we won't make radio calls, but we will use real-world traffic. So hopefully that's not gonna be an issue, as these guys can't see us, so it's entirely up to us to fit in the flow somewhere.
What day are we on, Captain Tango? 1 or 2?
Today we're gonna go with number 1. So we use odd and even days to alternate between nav lights 1 and nav lights 2.
No smoking on? Is that right?
Well, this is the portable electronic device.
Got it.
I think the
That's
plane
right.
is configured for that. So
Okay.
for now, we'll let people use their tablet, cell phone, and other gadgets in the back.
Roger that.
Wonderful. So, our database is valid, which is always a good start. We have planned flight in SimBrief, so we can import that. In this plane, it does load it in the secondary flight plan. So if I activate that, now we should have our flight plan initialized. Vancouver to Portland, Seattle, no surprises, or alternate, cost index 12. Expecting flight level 310, we'll use standard ISA now. And we'll quickly use the GPS position to help aligning the RS. So you got that started, excellent, thank you. Alright. Earlier on they were using the 2.6s, but I think they just switched the runway on us, but that happens in real life too. So this time we'll be departing from runway 08 right. So don't be surprised, the flight plan here is still the old 2.6. We know we're gonna use 08 right.
What gate are we at?
72, I believe, on kind of north side of the terminal. Would have been convenient for 08, but now everybody has to drive down that runway.
Okay.
So we'll use the Stanley 5. Let's insert that, and we'll have a discontinuity, but that's normal. This is just a vector departure, so we'll vector ourselves. As it is a short flight, I'm gonna already enter some information for Portland. Right now we're still expecting 28 left via the crater 2. So we were joking about hopefully we won't make a crater. We'll see when we get there. And the Uzo via, we can do no via, we'll turn to final based on traffic. Alright. So for the secondary, I'll put a return to the field, so let me do this this way. New destination DIVR, which is Vancouver departure airport. So if we have any problem, we'll get back here, and we can use let's use the longest one, 08 right. No star. Perfect. So let's put some performance data in case we have to come back. Can get the temperature from the ACAM, which is 16. We'll zero the wind. Lazy and just put 200 in the radio. Do we have a QNH for the field? I think it was 29990 earlier on, but we should check. Let me use Navigraph. Open airport, Weber. Yes, 29990. You set it for me. I set it in there in the ISIS as well. Perfect. So yes, the wind now is 90 at 7, so it makes sense to use 08.
Do we need to get new performance numbers for 8, right?
I did that.
Okay.
As long as I make sure to use the right piece of paper. But these, if you don't mind double checking, but I think it's the 8 right one. I did full length. I know there's a intersection, but alright, so I'm done with the secondary. RadNav we don't really need on this departure. Okay, so before we do the performance, let's look at our fuel situation. So the flight plan calls for 14,200 pounds, which is what we have. Can also make sure this is all balanced across the tank, so it looks good. So why don't we go ahead, turn on the fuel pumps, or at least put them on auto. We can put the seatbelt sights on now that we've fully refueled, and we can go ahead and start the APU. Uplink the data. Might as well check hydraulic quantities. Everything is good. Pressurization is on auto. Perfect. And I see the APU is starting. So let me enter the fuel numbers. First, the average wind component. We'll have some tailwind. 18 knots.
Nice.
That was good. 4.5. I have 45 to 74 for the trip fuel, so that's really good, really close. Contingency is 1600, so 1.6, or alternate Seattle 3.2. And that still leaves us final reserves. Oh, sorry, our final reserves needs to be 2.4. And that leaves us 30 minutes extra time, so not that we're planning on it, but 1 or 2 go around certainly available if needed. Alright, so let's get to the takeoff performance. Okay. Whenever you're ready.
Let's see.
What was it, like a 1?
What's our
V1 67?
What's our flex temp?
I think we'll
67?
use the max. Yeah.
43.
143 for V1.
43.
143 for V1.
44.
144 for V2. That's a flaps 1.
Flaps 1.
And flex 67.
67.
67. Wonderful.
APU's online.
Alright. So how many passengers? I think we're pretty full. We should have started boarding a little sooner, but let's get our 151 passenger on board. Sometimes GSX does it automatically, sometimes it doesn't, but we got it. Cool. You want to go ahead, take a look at that flight plan?
Yeah. So we can probably even get, well, it's manual, so it's vector.
Yeah, we'll keep
and
it
we
for
can
now,
go
and then we'll
direct
do
Seattle
direct
when we
Seattle.
clear.
Yeah. But you can tell the heading on that departure is very friendly to going to the Seattle VR.
Yes.
Pretty much head on. Alright. Let me check the chart if there is an initial clearance altitude. Initial climb. I'm turning. Alright, it's a maintain 2000 or assign, so hopefully they'll give us vector real quick. And by that I mean we'll give ourselves vector. Constraint, flight director, thank you. I see you've set up quite a few things for us. Alright, the progress page, I'll put a return to the field. We always have bearing and distance. Ideally I could even put the runway threshold, but I'll put the airport reference points, CYVR, and that should do. Certainly not expecting to come back. Would be a bad day if we have to.
Okay, so liquid hiker should be 7, that's fine. Liquid, we have liquid at 6,000, but you have to remind me, is that a hard constraint?
Let me check. Is that on the crater?
Yeah. Everything's
Yes.
fine.
Yes,
Liquid
that has a bar on top
Yeah.
and above and below, so it's a hard 6,000.
So do we need to hard code that into the box?
If it's not, yes.
Because it's 5162, it needs to be
Okay.
6,000.
Well, the constraint is there right
It is,
now.
okay.
We don't have necessarily the speed and all that. I'm
Okay, perfect.
fine with that.
Okay.
Okay, well, while we are boarding, let me know when ready to take a look at our taxi route, maybe.
Yeah, I kind of went over it a little bit here, so...
So we're expecting 08 right.
Correct.
So we'll push back facing west. I'm expecting then to take Juliet Alpha.
To Mike,
Then,
or we're going
or
to cut
to
through
Juliet. I think
Okay.
they take Juliet and then right on Lima.
Lima.
Cut the inactive
To-
1-3 all the way to Lima 4.
Okay.
And that's at 10,800 feet runway, so pretty long. And then we looked at the departure, right? It's runway heading
Yep.
until we pass 1,000, and we can do a right turn heading 145. Expect vector, so we'll vector ourselves to
Perfect.
the Seattle VR. which is the
Sounds like a
next
plan.
Waypoint, indeed. Alright. Let's do the before start checklist.
Okay, before start, cockpit prep.
I think that is all completed.
Gears, pins, and covers.
Have been removed.
Signs.
Let's go ahead and put them both on now. A little early.
8 years.
Let me check that we're nav all 3 and no substantial drift, so we're good.
Fuel quantity.
14,300 checked and balanced, and that is as per the flight plan, so checked.
Takeoff data.
So let's make sure we go back to the source, which
Yep.
is this. I have V1143, VR143, V2144, flaps 1, flex 67.
Check.
And we should get our trim setting once we have the final load sheet.
Okay. Altimeters, barrel ref.
29 and 9 is 0 set. I'm reading like 20 feet. We're by the ocean, so that seems all good.
Okay. Before start, checklist above the line complete.
Thank you. Alright, so some more information about today's flight. Flight plan called for 43 minutes. Flight time, cruising altitude 310. Probably won't stay there very long. Alright. What does the weather in Portland looks like? Take a look.
Would you like me to pull any ATIS or weather?
Yeah, we'll have to go with the METAR as we're not that sim, but yes, why don't we enter
CYVR?
Well, let's get that, then our destination, so
PDX.
KPDX.
And then what's the alternate?
Seattle, so KSEA. Alright.
Alright. Handy dandy printer.
That's right.
Look at that.
Wonderful. So Portland is reporting wind 200 at 5, 10 status mile visibility, status mile visibility, overcast 2300, temperature 18, dew point 14, altimeter 3002. Okay. Typical Pacific Northwest weather. Just clear this.
The passengers sound all in good moods today so far.
Yes, so
Haven't
we're
heard
expecting an on-time departure. Whatever that time is.
Whatever that may be. Have you flown this particular route before, Captain?
I don't think so.
All right.
I've flown in and out of each airport, but not as a city pair. Alright, looks like we have some traffic either coming in or pushing back behind us. We can look at that traffic map here.
Looks like they may have recently had this jet in and washed it.
It's all clean. Okay, so we're just done with the boarding. We got a company message, so that's probably our final load sheet with all the numbers. If you can go to the last page. And we should have the stat, the trim.
Down 0.5.
Alright, down 0.5 it is. Okay. Well, let's go for pushback.
Alright.
Then we'll run our checklist
I can turn external power off.
Yes, I'll disconnect that, thank you.
Do you want to do below the line?
Yes.
Okay.
Let's go ahead and do that.
Below the line, windows, doors.
As closed as they'll ever be.
Beacon.
Beacon is on.
Thrust levers.
Idle for now.
Parking brake.
Parking brake.
Before
on.
start checklist complete.
Thank you.
Hello, Captain. We are ready for pushback.
All right. Not sure exactly when they turn the transponder, but let's put it on for now. We'll do that later.
Okay.
Completed. Bypass pin inserted.
There's a plane behind us, but I think he's just starting to move. So that would be good timing. Here comes the tug. Tug in the thugs. Alright, we want nose right.
Locking gear.
The outside temperature. Keep them cozy in the cabin.
Release parking brakes, please.
Alright, all looks good. Parking brake released.
Commencing
Start
push.
the clock is block
All
off.
engines clear. Start at will.
Why don't
Alright.
you go ahead and make sure the
We want ignition to start. Number 2. Into.
Yeah. I would assume they start number 1 first here, but hey. We'll let people fill in the comments.
We walk to the beat of our own.
On drum.
Yeah, I was trying to think of an aviation term, but EGT.
Alright, so we got into EGT rising fuel flow. And 1 is spinning.
I like the WestJet livery.
Number 2 is available. Let's
Number
start
1?
Number 1.
Into.
At the end, you know, we'll have both on, right?
Yeah,
That's what
may as
matters.
well.
So is that a max? I mean, it has the chevron and the split.
Fuel flow. EGT. Oh.
Alright.
Speaking of WestJet.
Well, we'll be in good company here. I was on one of those recently.
Ah. That's right, I forgot you just got back.
Yep.
Number 1's online.
Alright, wonderful. With 2 good starts, so we'll do the after start flow. So you can arm the ground spoiler, verify that all rudder trim is 0. We'll do flaps 1, which is company policy,
Please set
as
parking brakes.
anytime as we can. Parking brake is on. Verify transponder's on, so that's fine. We'll be down 0.5.
And we want down 0.5. There's
Okay.
5.
I like to start the chrono
Okay.
for the engine warm-up time. Make sure, yep, brake on max, and then we can turn off APU bleed and
And APU bleeds come
the
off.
APU.
Master switch off.
And it's a busy side of the ramp here.
Yeah.
I like it.
Reminds me of the Canadian national anthem.
Alright, let's do the flight control check.
Okay. Left, full left,
Tow truck disconnected.
neutral,
Bypass pin removed.
full right, neutral,
Left
full
is
up,
clear. Right is clear.
neutral, full down, neutral, full right rudder, neutral, Full left rudder, neutral.
Alright, wonderful.
I'll do mine in silence.
Thank you. We'll see you next time. Alright, now that we don't have anybody in front of the plane, I'll put the weather radar on.
Okay.
All good?
Do you want me to go TARA?
Sure. We
Or-
can go ahead and do that. Put the trade table
Okay.
away.
After start,
After start check, please.
anti-ice.
Not required.
ECAM.
Cam status is normal.
Pitch trim.
Is control down 0.5.
Rudder trim.
0.
After start checklist complete.
Alright. So, and we can do the before takeoff while we taxi, especially
Okay.
now that we've already done the flight control.
So we're just to confirm Juliet runway 28 right via Juliet Alpha. Juliet
08, right.
08 right. Sorry. Thank you. Juliet Alpha Juliet Lima 4.
Yep, and it looks like we might be number 5 or something like that. Alright, so we better get going. Alright, let's pretend we're clear to taxi. Taxi lights are on. Parking brake coming off. Looks good on your side. Clear on
Looks
my
good over here.
side. Alright, let's go. Oh!
Is that a Max?
That was, yeah, I think because of the chevron on the engine.
Yeah, and the
Split.
nose gear is a lot higher too.
Yeah. Alright, maybe we're number 6. Unless we can race him. Okay, brake check, pressure 0. All good. So what you see in terms of our traffic in the sim here is injected based on ADS-B data. So it depends on the availability and accuracy, both the data and the scenery. But I really like it because everything kind of flows the way it should be. They just recently switched runway, as I mentioned. You can see proper spacing for takeoff, for landing. A couple of Dash 8 Q400 here, and they would do intersection takeoff because they obviously don't need the 10,000 foot runway. So it has some quirks, but overall I like it. Okay, so it seems like they're going. Well, we'll go as planned.
Yeah, we might be going to Victor. Got a Air Canada Express
Alright, well.
racing us here.
Are we number 7 now? I'll make sure it isn't. Look at all those. 1, 2, 3, 4.
5, 6.
Yeah, you know what? We're gonna be good boys and girls.
All right.
I'll take a ride here.
Okay.
I'm gonna
Go up to Mike.
follow the flow.
Clear right.
Alright. Well, the good news is that we'll have plenty of time to do our checklist.
Yeah.
No. It's gonna be interesting if we get somebody behind us. Because once again, with the real world traffic, guess what? We see them, but they don't see us. We're in a parallel real world. The real fake world.
The real fake world.
We're real fake pilots.
There is a train that goes from Seattle to Vancouver that's supposed to be quite magnificent
Oh, really? Yeah, I can imagine.
with the open, you know, glass tops on it and everything. But we'll get there quicker.
Hopefully.
Hopefully.
Because there is a train of planes
And safer.
waiting for clearance to take off on 08 right. Do have 2 runways here, but it seems like they're using one for takeoff and one for landing.
Oh.
What's happening there?
I don't know.
Did
At least he overtook him on the
Q400
left.
magically, yeah. Nah, I think he put his blinkers, so it's okay. Alright, so it don't, this runway's not it's not even a runway anymore, I think. What does the chart says? It's still depicted as a runway. Yeah, so there's 2, if not 3, no, 2 other planes. They're gonna come after us. I doubt we'll be gone by then. We'll see. Although they're
moving.
taking off with a good clip here.
And this should be Lima.
Yeah, so it's
Clear right.
it is a runway, but not an active runway. So. All good. Air Canada, WestJet. Almost looks like we're in Canada. Wonder. Alright, we are number 6. Well, I want traffic. I got traffic, I guess. Alright, let me tell. You want to go ahead and do one of your world famous
Sure.
PA?
Sure. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, from the flight deck, this is First Officer JeeHell along with Captain Tango. We're going to get you down to Portland and on your way as soon as possible. We have a couple departures in front of us, but everything's looking good for an on-time departure and arrival. I'd like to welcome you aboard once again. Thanks for flying American Airlines. And on behalf of the entire flight crew, sit back, relax, enjoy your flight. Flight attendants, please secure the cabin for departure. Thank you.
World famous.
World
World
famous.
famous. Alright, let's go ahead and do, because at one point in time we intend to take off, so let's do a before takeoff checklist.
Okay, before takeoff, flight controls.
I checked.
Flight instruments.
Checked. Everything looks reasonable.
Briefing.
Completed or confirmed, sorry.
Confirmed. Flap settings.
So, config 1.
V-speeds.
143, 143, 144, flight 67
Check. ATC.
is set.
Set. And ECAM memo.
Takeoff no blue.
Alright, before takeoff above the line complete.
Wonderful. So here's what we can do regarding the traffic. We still have a few planes in front of us. There's one I can see on the my moving map coming behind us. So he's gonna sequence south. But we can magically make it disappear and take its spot. So let me see how to best do this. You can see here on the map. So let me quickly switch. Nope, that's not what I wanted. See if this does it. Oh, we took that guy's spot. Well, that
It's
will work.
magic.
Yeah.
The always effervescent and magic Captain Tango.
It breaks the immersion a little bit, but hey, saved us one spot. And that WestJet is a little. I think they should check their transponder.
Maybe he's low on blinker fluid.
Yeah. Alright, runway 08 right confirmed.
Alright.
Still see good old WestJet here. To the arc. Above, everything looks good. There's been plenty of time since we start the engine.
Okay. And we have cabin crew advised engine mode selectors on norm. PAX
Yes,
as
and so
required.
PAX on departure.
Alright. You are clear right.
Alright, let's get on this runway. Oh, there's a private jet joining the fun on the other side. Okay, WestJet is in the air. Man, there's no way to miss the center line here. It's almost as wide as the touchdown marking. Alright,
Okay.
let's say we're clear for takeoff. Yep, so is it takeoff?
Takeoff.
Advance the throttle to 50%. And stabilize. Come on, lift. There we go. Manflex 67 SRS runway auto thrust is blue.
Thrust set. Hundred knots.
Checked.
V1 rotate.
Alright.
Positive rate.
Gear up, please. Right, we're nav. Waiting for pleasant lead. There we go. And can start turning 145. And
1,000 to go.
alright, well, let's say we're clear to 10 at least. Climb. Bring the nose down first, get positive speed trend. And let's say we clear direct Seattle, like we said. Alright, thrust climb, climb, auto thrust. Flaps up.
Flaps coming up.
Very nice. Can continue to accelerate to 250 knots. looks like we're clear of the traffic, so let's pretend we're clear to our cruise altitude.
Where are we going?
310.
Flight level 310 is in the window.
Thank you. Checked. 310 blue. Well, as soon as I said we were done with traffic, guess what?
There's
Might get a traffic warning.
there he is. I have him in sight.
Alright. Ah, yeah, we have it.
Tally ho on the traffic.
I'll pass underneath.
Traffic.
With a little traffic.
No factor.
Traffic. Traffic. Traffic.
Never
Traffic.
fails. There might be only one or two aircraft in the sector. I guarantee you I'll be where they are at the same time. Same spot and usually pretty close altitude. Alright, let's do our after takeoff checklist.
Okay, got
Engage
1,000 to
the
go. Oh, no, we
autopilot.
don't. We reset. Good.
Yeah.
After takeoff, landing gear,
Is up.
flaps,
Retracted.
tacks,
Are on.
and barrel.
Yeah, that's the below the line,
Yep.
so we'll have to wait until
10,000, because we are in Canada.
that's what we do here. Alright,
There's
so
10.
we're passing 10, so they can use their electronic device. We can turn off the lights, start the cabin service. Alright, off we go. Yeah, there's a decent amount of traffic around here. 2, 4, 6, 7. Alright, we're headed to the Seattle VOR. 90 miles to go. So what I like to do around 10,000 is just recheck our flight plan, make sure we have no disco. Visit the RadNav page in case we had enter and hard-coded or hard-tuned frequency, VOR, NDB, but we didn't use any. Alright, we're showing cruise altitude 310, optimum 301, that might come up. It's not too far anyway. Custom X12, it's fine. And we're still showing plenty of fuel, extra time of 55 minutes. And then the secondary flight plan, which I had or return to the field, I'll copy the active for now. Alright, in the progress page, I still keep Vancouver for now, probably the closest airport. What we can do is use the equitime point feature, which by default is filled in with the departure and arrival. We know Seattle is in between, would be a good airport if we need to divert. I'll put some wind information, 262 at 18. I'm using the current wind. It's not too bad. We could use the wind forecast we have on our flight plan. Alright, so we're still for now closer to Vancouver, but in 27 miles, Seattle would be a better option. Would be closer to that. Excellent. And you can see the equitime point on the navigation display, 25-ish miles ahead of us. At Friday Harbor, KFHR on our right. Might be a little short for us.
Yeah.
Bellingham would be KBOI, I think.
One of my friends that flies 737s for Alaska Airlines has a little airplane up there, Friday Harbor.
Oh, nice.
Has invited me many times. I haven't been up there yet to fly with him.
You need to take him up on that
I know.
offer. Alright, so we're approaching 18,000. Let's go standard. Standard 3 times, and I'm reading 18.1 right now. Well, thanks again, JDUB, for joining me. It's always a pleasure to use both seats.
Yes. Glad to be here.
So it's so much fun to kind of have the ultimate shared cockpit experience.
Yeah, it's nice that you have that capability. For me, you know, my flight sim at home is somewhat smaller. It's nice to be able to get into full immersion with the at least the the cockpit setup.
Yeah. It's as big as we could do with the space we had in this room.
Well, it's pretty darn complete.
Oh, I'm not complaining for sure.
Do you have a nickname for this aircraft?
No, I know we had that. No, my wife asked the same thing. We'll need to come up with something.
As long as it's not Crater, we're fine.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll be passing over Whidbey Island, which my dad, when he was in the Navy, was stationed
Oh, really?
at Whidbey Island.
Yeah.
For a while.
Well, actually, we have friends who bought a house not too long ago. Beautiful house.
Yeah.
On Whidbey Island.
So beautiful.
That's how
up
I
there.
know where it is. Didn't know before that. They were on Mercer Island, I think,
yeah.
in Seattle.
Yep.
Before that. So.
Yeah, my first trip up there, I went over to Bainbridge Island on the ferry and got off the ferry and got up to the top of the rise on the island and saw a B-17 and P-51 flying in formation out over the sound. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm looking at our flight plan. Seems like we'll have 13 miles maybe at cruise altitude.
Yeah, let me know when you want me to grab any kind of weather.
Yeah. I'll wait once we're a little closer. So we're approaching our ETP, so I'm going to change my airport here in the progress page to be Seattle.
I am always surprised and amazed. You know, I'm on Microsoft 2020 exclusively now. I switched over from X-Plane, and every time I come over here, the P3D scenery is just, it's really nice.
It's decent, and especially when you do like airline flying right from 24,000 feet. The goal is ultimately to switch to 2020 as well. The freeware I use, fantastic JeeHell FMGS freeware that allows me to run the cockpit and the sim on, in my case, 3 separate computers. So we have one computer for the visuals running P3D, as you mentioned, and then I have a dedicated computer for the FO side, for your side, and then a third computer, which is also my kind of desktop computer, runs the captain side, ECAM. There's a lot of screens.
Yeah. So the program that you run the actual aircraft on JeeHell, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Is that like constantly updated or regularly updated?
Yes. He's really good at adding feature, fixing bugs. Sorry, I interrupted you.
Yeah. No, that's fine.
Probably every 2 to 4 months. You know, there's a minor update, major update. And he's working towards adding support for 2020. One of the benefit of a large sim like this is that the plane, the flight model, the logic for all the systems, the displays, the logic for the ground proximity warning system or the TCAS, all these are external programs that just communicate with the sim to get the basic data needed but then the sim is just used for the visual. So it's a kind of higher decoupling that you might have compared to what I was also used before. You know, you buy an add-on for
Right.
XYZ sim,
Right.
and then when the sim updates, does that mean, you know, you have to wait on an update for the add-on and all that? Depending on the feature change, I might still have to wait for an update. But for example, when P3D version 6 came out, you could install the same files and put them in the V6 folders, and it worked out of the box because there's no fundamental change. The SimConnect interface, FSUIPC interface are really good in terms of backward compatibility. So.
Do you have a direct communication with the developer?
So there's a
and
forum.
where you guys give information back to the home base, so to speak?
Yeah, and this is really amazing. I mean, he has been developing this for more than 10 years. As far as I can tell, came on board recently, but I've already seen over the last 2 years the progress, adding features, fixing bugs, as I mentioned, but also we can make suggestions from little things to, you know, like more features, not necessarily a bug, but if you want
Right.
a specific feature.
User feedback
Yep.
to the developer.
Yeah.
That's
I think,
excellent.
for example, let me check the pressurization. I noted, like, the cabin pressurization, there's two systems, System 1 and System 2, typical airline, you know, redundancy. Right now I can see, can display it also for viewers. The lower cam, we're using System 2. My understanding on the actual airplane is that it alternates, right? So that you go from System 1 to System 2 every time. I'm not sure exactly if it's a takeoff or engine start or what exactly triggers the change, but basically from one leg to another, you will alternate this, between system, which I believe was model, but it was always starting on System 2. I think today it's random, so you would have Sys1 or Sys2 depending on the previous flight. So I had heard that some Airbus pilot, you know, when they alternate legs between the first officer and the captain, you know, who will be pilot flying would be pilot non-flying, that instead of flipping a coin, they would look at the cabin pressurization page.
Right.
And System 2, okay, first officer
it.
probably get it. It's System 1. Because it pretty much is, you know, you have no knowledge when you get into the airplane of what system was previously used. It's kind of random way. I don't know if it's true, but seems like a good anecdote. Alright, we're pretty much getting overhead Seattle. See on the map there's quite a bit of traffic as usual, going in and out.
What's the limitation on the TCAS above or below the traffic you'll actually pick up on your display?
Yeah, it's a good point. So the TCAS, I think the range is 40 nautical miles, so we wouldn't see aircraft beyond that range. But as you mentioned, there's a feature that allows you to pick up, there's 4 different modes, right? There's a thread mode, thread mode, all, above and below. Typically for the climb I put it above, so we see the traffic above us as we're climbing. Now that we reach cruise, I will put it below, because if anything happens, most likely what we'll need to do is go down, right?
Right.
So it's good to have a picture of traffic below us.
And
I think in each mode, above or below, it's like 2,000 and 10,000. So above would be all the way up to 10,000 above you,
Okay.
but still 2,000 below you. Don't remember if it's 2,000 below you or 4,000 below you, and vice versa. So now in below mode, we still see the traffic in front of us on our nose, like 30 miles out. These 100, 1,100, 1,200, it might be climbing still. But then this, in the below mode, you can see down to aircraft that will be all the way down to 10,000 feet below you.
got it.
All, I think, is like plus or minus 4,000, so it's not necessarily the sum of below and above. You still want to reduce the range somewhat so that it declutters a little bit. For the ultimate declutter, you can use the thread mode. So if I switch now on the thread mode, that's why it disappears. TCAS is still on, but we would only see thread. So the traffic advisory, or then if we get a resolution advisory.
Got it.
All right, so probably approaching our top of descent. Okay. Well, let's pretend we're cleared down to flight level 190 for now. Alright, we can push. So thrust idle, descent, flight level 190 below. Okay, let's get our destination data. I know we had some earlier weather report, but a new one. We can enter that in the approach page of the performance data.
Okay. So PDX.
Yep, Portland.
We got 190 at 6 knots.
190 at 6 for the wind.
Temperature is 18.
18.
Altimeter is 3003.
3003. So one thing I like to do when we get our initial is to put it already. Now we would still have to stay in standard, but at least we should be close to what we get. 3003. Perfect. Alright, so let's start looking at the details of our arrival into the Portland area. So we passed the Seattle VOR, headed south to Buzo.
Buzo, correct.
Buzo. And that's the beginning of the crater, or it's one of the transition into the crater 2. So there's a few altitude restriction that you already checked. Checked Helens craters, Hiker. The key one is liquid at 6, as we discussed earlier. That's a hard constraint. Right now the FMGS has us a little bit lower, but that's fine.
Okay.
And then sun and shine. So hopefully we'll see some sunshine down
speed
there.
constraint at sun.
Yeah, 210. Okay, that's in as well.
That's all I see.
Yeah, 210 on the downwind, that's good. Alright. And so the latest wind was
190 at 6.
okay, so that's kind of a crosswind for 28. I'll check. That's one other benefit with the real world is we can check the flight radar 24, flight aware, see which way they're landing. So for now, let's go ahead with 28 left. We would turn final, and the Cat 1 minimum ILS is 306. Barrel reference, so we have all that set. Platform altitude is 2000 on the ILS, the standard glide slope of 3 degrees, minimum at 306. And the missed approach is fly runway heading, climb to 2100, turn left 4000. Alright. So what would be a good altitude maybe to be cleared down to beginning Helens at 11. Okay. Let's say we're clear down to 11,000. Thank you. So I know you can't see it, but I'm looking at my tablet at flight radar 24. Let me enter Portland KPDX. See if I can find a plane that landed recently, or one that is about to take off. No such luck. Well, there's an Alaska airline plane coming from Seattle, and it looks like he's on the downwind for 28, so.
Alright. And if you wanted to check our descent, where do we go for that?
You can go to the progress page, so it will show your vertical deviation. We cleared, so you have your scratch pad line.
Yeah.
And then you can also see it on the primary flight display with the green dot.
Where the green dot is, so we're
as long as it's within 500 feet.
Okay.
If not, it would be pegged up or down the altitude tape.
When you see that close, you know you're on
profile.
Yeah. Okay.
And the plane can be a little slippery sometimes, so I might decide to use the speed brake, but I would give it at least 1,000 feet plus minus before, or at least plus.
Alright, our company message here.
Alright.
Gate assignment.
What do they want?
Charlie
they gave us
22.
Is that a company gate?
Company
yes.
gate. Ground power is available.
Wonderful.
And as always, minimize APU use on the
Yeah.
ground.
Well, we want to be environmentally responsible.
We do.
So Charlie 22. I don't think I have loaded the chart for the gates quite yet, so let's do that. Portland, chart, taxi, parking gates, 10-9 at B. Alright, so Charlie is kind of the southwest side, Concourse C terminal, which is on the 28 left side.
Yeah.
And 22 is kind of sticking at the end.
On the end there, so it should be relatively.
Yep,
simple.
I like it.
Let's see,
So
we did get the weather.
Expecting 28 left. Hopefully we can vacate by Echo Bravo 2, then come back Bravo. Relatively short taxi. Alright.
Alright, I'll Celsius.
Is that Mount St. Helens there? Yeah, that's the Helens waypoint, so.
Celsius 18.
Nice view.
So that's 64 degrees. I'll go ahead and make a little announcement to the back there. Give them an update.
Please do.
Okay. Now, folks, once again from the flight deck, Captain JeeHell here. As you can tell, we begin our descent into Portland. We're right on time. Our goal here is always to get you to your destination as safely and quickly as possible. Captain Tango doing a great job flying your jet for you today. Current temperature down there at PDX is 64 degrees. There's some broken clouds at 1200, overcast 23. There may be a few slight bumps as we descend through the cloud layer. Other than that, no worries. Just make sure while you're seated, keep your seatbelts securely fastened about your waist. Once again, appreciate your business here at American Airlines, and here's hoping you a great rest of your day and safe travels to your final destination. Thank you.
Wonderful. Look at that view. some reason I like that view.
The tail cam.
Yes. Feel like I'm in a Airbus A380
Yeah.
now. Can we get more ads for American?
Yeah. Hashtag American Air.
Yeah, well, they should wait until they see my landing before
Yeah, right.
sponsoring this video.
Yeah. Let's see. We can go to
Yes, we passed.
local QNH there.
I'm glad somebody is paying attention.
It was just blinking at me, and that's how I knew.
Yeah.
Airplane's
Well,
a lot
that's
smarter
why-
than we are.
That's why it blinks, yes, indeed. Alright.
Have a little
what am
Mount
I-
St. Helens there.
Okay, I'm going to clear message so that we don't have a company message. On the eCam, everything looks good.
This is the Red Bull jetpack guy cam. He flew along the A380. You ever see that video?
Oh no, I've seen a few Red Bull craziness, but
See some snacks in the back there.
yeah, ignore that. Hopefully no big eruption.
Yeah, please.
Alright, let's get back into the cabin and let's do our approach checklist.
Approach checklist. Briefing.
Confirmed. Or what is the word?
Confirm.
Confirmed, yeah.
On this
Always
checklist,
trips
anyway.
me. Confirmed.
ECAM status.
Let's make sure if we recall, we see normal, so we like normal.
Seatbelts.
Seatbelt sign is on.
Barrel ref.
3003 set 3 times.
Decision height.
We have 306 for the ILS to
Which
it left.
is confirmed on the chart.
Perfect.
And engine mode selector.
Normal.
Okay. Approach
All
checklist
right.
complete.
So why don't we pretend we're cleared on to 6, which is a hard, and make sure that we're managed. Perfect. Thank you.
Welcome.
I will go, as we had slowed down, can probably still do 260 right now, but we're approaching 10, so...
And we do have the speed constraint at sun at 210, which
Yeah.
is hard-coded there.
Yeah, I can see it on the...
Yep. Oh, got
If
it.
you go back to constraint mode, I know we both had
Yeah.
changed to airport while we were higher altitude, which makes sense. Okay, we're approaching 10,000, so I'll slow down to 0. Put the no portable electronic device line. Tell wonderful flight attendant that probably, what, 10 minutes? It's 18, 14, 12 minutes from landing.
Alright. As soon as we get established, I'll dial in the missed approach at 4,000, is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
And,
Did we check our radio frequency? Just to
Sure.
make sure.
never hurts. The Airbus
110.5 and 283 on the course. We have 110.5 and 284.
110.5, 283, yep. And
So
it's
if you
IJ.
did want to change that information, what's the correct procedure to do that in this?
Well, I don't think, like, if it is one in the database, I'm not sure you can actually change it. So you want to make sure it's within 1 or 2 degree.
Okay.
You know, slight difference between the sim and the real
Right.
world, especially, you know, magnetic variation changing over time. But if the ILS frequency was not in the database, then you can manually enter as any other field. That at least is my understanding. Okay, I'm checking my map here, there doesn't seem to be too much traffic going into Portland right now. And it looks like we're gonna be at 6,000 when we need to be. Alright, let's do fuel check. It's still balanced. Hydraulic.
1,000 to go.
Looks good. Engine. Pressurization. Engine still auto. Everything looks mighty fine.
Just like the burger.
I guess so. Making me hungry now. So alright, so it's 6,000 liquid. We're in the soup, but the temperature TAT is
We're
20
good.
degrees C, so as long as we're above 10, we're all good.
Alright, there's 6,000.
Yep, leveling off, out. I'll probably do, I see we're 10 miles from sun to 10. 5 miles out, I'll probably dial 230.
So do you use a mathematical formula for that, or?
Nah. Not especially. Kind of break it in half, right? We had
Right.
10 nautical miles, split the distance in half, split the speed difference in
Mhm.
half. We need to slow down 40 knots, so 230 is a good number. I mean, I could let the plane do it.
Yeah. But it might be a
That's
little
one
late.
thing, yeah. Okay, so we only put the final for the ILS, so Hannah
So
is at 29 actually. Let me change that in. Alright, so we're getting there. Slow down to 2.
in aviation, there are so many handy little formulas you can
Yes.
use. So maybe in the comments, if anybody knows descent for normal airliner ops, that formula they use for that. And there's also a formula you can use with a couple of pieces of data for determining the level of clouds. Maybe somebody knows that. Can leave that for us in the comments.
Alright, we go to 210.
Alright, establishing the downwind
Turning.
here.
Okay, let's go down to 4,000.
4,000.
Yeah. Okay, I think we're relatively clear of traffic. Guy behind us leaving the area as far as I can tell.
You going to be using auto brakes today, Captain?
Yes, we'll do, so landing system, auto brake low, should be fine. Thank you.
So this is the Columbia River, right?
You tell me.
I believe it
As
is.
I look at my cheat sheet here.
It's the Columbia River's the border between Oregon and Washington State.
Okay. Alright, so...
Do we need...
say we vector around here. Well, basically turning base.
Would you like any kind of terrain mode or anything on, or
I
think we're okay?
Fine.
Okay.
Alright, then I'll descend this to 2900.
Alright. And that's open descent, right?
Yes, I pulled for open, so the engine are going idle, thrust idle, open descent. 2900 blue.
A320.
We're already below.
What a wonderful machine this thing is, huh?
Alright, it seems like there's someone else coming as usual. So, you know what? Let's arm the... Okay, we already automatically arm the approach. Why don't we go... flaps 1.
Okay, speed check.
Although there should be enough
Flaps 1.
space. Thank you. Spacing should be okay.
Yeah, he looks like he's coming in there pretty good.
So, can slow us down a little more.
$2,500.
As well managed. Okay. Turning right, heading 250. We're already at 2900.
Do you want me to arm localizer?
We can arm the approach actually.
Nice.
And so Cat 3 dual localizers. Yeah, we'll overshoot it a little bit, but that's not necessarily a bad thing.
Nope.
Doing a little bit of a S around or behind seating traffic. And the parallel runway is on the other side anyway.
Here she comes.
Okay, so 2900
Comes the
at
glide slope.
Hanap. Then we can go down to
Localizer.
2000. Yep, everything is alive. Did the other aircraft go?
I don't know.
Disappeared below. Okay, alright.
Alright. We're flaps 1, 10 miles. Glide slope's coming in. So do you
Slow us down to
do you-
170.
do you normally set your missed approach once you capture glide slope?
Yeah, I'm gonna descend us to 2000 for the ILS short. I guess we could have,
There it is.
yeah. Guess we're on glide slope unlock, so yeah, that's perfect. Alright, let's go
Can I push it up to 4
flap.
here?
Yeah, flaps 2.
Flaps
It
2.
is wide, so it's all good.
Okay.
Been cleared for the ILS, 28 left. Alright, runway in sight.
Check.
Spoilers arm, gear down.
Gear down.
Like 6 miles out,
2,000
2,000 feet.
I see 2
Oh,
white,
they're
2
using
red.
28 left for takeoff as well, okay. Hopefully there will be no conflict. Flaps 3.
Flaps 3.
Okay. Well, as far as I can tell, we're cleared to land. So we have a direct crosswind from the left, 90 degree. Alright, let's go flaps full.
Flaps full.
And we can do the landing checklist, please.
Cabin crew.
Spin advised.
Throttles.
Speed.
ECAM memo.
Landing no blue.
Landing checklist complete.
Approaching 1,000 feet.
1,000.
We're stable. Thanks to the automation. Alright, let me disengage the autopilot.
A little bit of a quartering tail.
Yeah, it turned, it was full, yeah. That's why we're drifting to the left a little bit, correcting.
Still too white, too red.
500. 400. 100 above. 300. Minimum
And the wind is changing.
200. 100. 50. 40. 30. 20. Retard. Retard.
Spoilers deployed. 2 in reverse.
Let's go back on the center line, roughly.
Decel. There's 100 knots.
Alright. Twenty knots.
Idle. Reverse idle.
I missed this one, but that's okay. Manual braking. And we'll take the next exit on the right. That was a little squirrely, but
Hey,
we got it done.
better than the Alaska Airlines over at Burbank the other day.
What happened there?
Pushed the strut up through the wing.
Oh,
of the
yeah, yeah,
737. Clear right. Lights off.
Yeah.
Just let me know when you want me to bring the APU online.
Yeah, let's make sure we vacate first. There we go. So, alright. Yeah, we can go. Clean up. Start the chrono. Stop the chrono. Alright, after landing checklist.
Flaps.
Retracted.
Spoilers.
Disarm
APU.
is starting.
Radar.
Is up.
Predictive wind shear.
Is up as well.
After landing checklist complete.
Thank you.
First officer was kind of behind the power curve over here.
No. It's all good.
I just want to give our real-world Airbus pilot friend reasons to make fun of me and criticize me. That's after
Well,
he sees the video.
I see company parked there.
It was
Is C-22
Charlie 22.
even available?
Yeah, we're on the other side. We're on the left of him. I think he's 21.
Yeah, we might have to take too many.
I think he's at
Or
21.
go to 19. I don't know.
So it looks like 23 and 22 are available.
I'll see when we get there. There is an option to enter the destination gate in the traffic, in which case it would boot that guy out for us.
Crossing 213, clear right, as far as I can see.
Yeah, yeah, it's inactive, so it should be good. Let's say we park. Gee, there's a lot of Alaska there.
Yeah, 22 is available.
Is that to the right of that Alaska? Or?
Yeah, so it's the two gates that are available. 22's on the left. So yeah, just to the right of Alaska. We're sorry.
There's room there.
Oh, we have an Alaska Air Cargo parked at the passenger terminal.
Interesting.
Maybe it's a combi.
Oh, pretty decent Alaska presence here, for sure.
We have a marshaller now?
No. We'll self-police ourselves. Yes. Where do they park here?
Kind of a weird... These two gates
I think
are so
that's
close.
the gate for him. I think 23 is our best option.
Okay.
Oops.
Yeah, 22.
Because he's
come
parked
in
at
this
the
way.
angle. He's
Yeah.
using 22.
It's just off a little.
It doesn't connect the gate, but it will do. We'll be with our
Quick gate change.
that
Only 10
319.
extra steps for our people.
Yeah.
With those sharklets, whatever they call those, blended wing.
All right, Charlie 23.
You want me on the
We'll
parking
do
brake?
just fine. Let's work here. Yep, parking brake on. With the APU on, so we can turn off the engine. Turn off the transponder. Speed 1 in 3 minutes. That's all good.
Beacon.
Yep. Let's request the deboarding.
Captain, I'll let you greet the passengers as they walk off, since you were the one that did the landing.
I'm the one who smashed the plane.
Or do you need me to go back there?
Yeah, I'll blame it on the first officer. You know me so well. All right, so let's do the parking checklist.
APU bleed.
Is on.
Engines.
Hopefully they're off. Yes, they
Seatbelts.
are. Let me connect seatbelt sign is off.
Exterior lights.
As required, so just
Fuel
door
pumps.
nav. Can turn those off.
And parking brake and chocks.
Yeah, we'll use the parking brake.
As always,
Don't
consider
swing
heavy
shut-
rain.
Yeah, well, for once, weather's not too bad around here. All right. Well, we did it.
Yeah.
Thank
Fist
you.
bump. Thanks for having me aboard, Captain.
Yes, of course, anytime. So this was a very enjoyable experience. As I said, the ultimate shared cockpit. Always like it when I have somebody joining me, and we can try to operate as a crew. We kind of use the Airbus recommended SOP with a little bit of sprinkle a little bit of our own procedure here and there to adapt to the SEM, but certainly makes it a lot more interesting flying with a competent first officer. So certainly he fooled me again.
Yeah.
That's what he's thinking.
You use that word very loosely, competent. I'm looking forward to both the encouragement and advice that I can get from anyone in the comments.
Well, it's always a learning experience. Always a learning experience. Alright folks, as you can see, we're parked at the gate, disembarking our passenger in Portland. So thanks again for watching the video. Special thank you to our 500 plus subscribers. I've been really amazed to see that number going up. It's well beyond my expectations. And so I'm looking forward to the next 500. So if you're considering subscribing, please do so. You'll get the alert notification for future videos with some interesting things coming up, including world flight. So we'll talk about that in a separate, shorter video. Once again, thanks for joining. I hope to see you in a future video, and in the meantime, enjoy the virtual skies.